Hello, I am Stephanie Joy, the attorney at All Things Social Security and Joy Disability Law. Your video is about to start. I just wanted to remind you that if you click the join button below, you can learn more about the memberships offered at a very affordable price that can give you a little more direct attorney answers to your questions. Have a great day and enjoy the video. Good morning. Happy Sunday, and hope you all had a great weekend. Still having it. This might be your part of your July 4th weekend if you took it after the actual day. But let's just go over what we went through last week in terms of video shares. Okay, so this is the week of Monday, July 1st to Saturday, July 6th. Okay. So on Monday, we talked about, oh yeah, busting a big old myth that some people have heard of and have not been corrected. The misunderstanding about disabled people collecting Social Security, disability, or SSI not being able to work at all, that it would be very inconsistent. So we clear up that huge myth. As you know, I'm a big proponent of disabled or impaired people working if they want to work to the extent they can while still continuing their benefits, assuming they are disabled as defined under the SSD rules. That was Monday. Tuesday the 2nd. Oh yeah, this was in response to a viewer who wanted to know if it's possible for CDR diary time periods, those dates that you know in the future you're going to be supposedly, if everything's on track, getting a CDR, continuing disability review. So we go over that question and the response to that. July 3rd, that would be what, Wednesday? Again, viewer created question. What is the difference between listing level impairment and an RFC? When does one get implicated versus the other? You really do need to know about both of them, but it is important to know the differences. Okay, so we go into that. So that's kind of like a definitional thing. We also explain where you find it in the sequential evaluation process. Thursday, Independence Day. I hope you all had a wonderful one. Because it was Independence Day, I just decided to share a letter I was reading from the recently outwent SSA Inspector General, and reviewed a outgoing letter that she prepared to put us in the know of the things that were accomplished during her 5-year tenure. So I wanted to share that because they're super, super important. And my understanding is they were really well achieved, regardless of all the other political partisan critiquing and all that other business that goes on everywhere nowadays. So if you want to learn what went on in the Inspector General's office in terms of accomplishments, it is pretty enlightening and encouraging. So it is my hope that the next Inspector General will continue some of the technological and organizational advancements for a more efficient SSA, particularly that particular office. All right, that was Thursday, July 4th. On Friday, we had the fraud law review. This was basically a part 3 because the Office of Inspector General, under the outgoing one, Ennis, reported on the sentencing of a Missouri man who did some really, really, really bad defrauding of elderly. I mean, really bad for years and years and years. So that was Mr. Rivez. You've heard me not be able to say it multiple times as I reported. I think this is our 3rd video. But here you can find out what went down. There's a few other facts now known that were not known, so that's kind of interesting. That was July 5th for the fraud law review. And then Saturday the 6th, this was in response to a viewer. RFC, and what is it? I say it all the time. You probably hear it from many of my colleagues in their video shares. RFC, residual functional capacity, what is it? So we get into the definition. So it's clear, hopefully, as to what it is. Okay, that was it for the week, guys. I hope you have a great new week coming up and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll talk to you later. Bye. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Hey, all, happy Sunday. This is the Sunday Social Security Roundup for this last week of June 2024. Okay, so what do we have? Going from Monday, which was June 24th, and ending Saturday, the 29th. Okay, so obviously last Sunday, 23rd, we did the Social Security Roundup for that week. I will tack that on in the end in case you missed it. And Monday, okay, yeah, this one was kind of big. It was something that cropped up, and I didn't really expect people to be so interested, but it was about the untruth that you have to use your own local office in whatever town you officially live in, or in that the field office that would apply to your town, and you can't go to a different one. And I'm saying that's absolutely false. And I give some of the basis for that. But occasionally you'll have staffers, someone who doesn't really want to do more work, perhaps, telling you have to go to your own. See ya, sayonara. Okay, not true. Tuesday, the 25th, this was, and this was in response to a question. If one has 38 credits and they need to have 40, whether it's for disability or for retirement, do they have to work 6 more months to get those last 2 credits? And we go into whether you have to, whether there's alternatives, and what you can do about it. And there's some better alternatives if the shoe fits. Okay, so that was Tuesday. Wednesday, the 26th. This was a little recap on the grids for the 50 and 60s folks. I'd say 50 to like 64, 65-ish. Just the basics of those grids that would apply to you, and the basics of what you need to know in order to get the proofs you need to show that a grid rule would render you disabled. Because as you know, the grids don't de facto make a 50, 55, or 60-year-old disabled. There's things you have to prove, but what you have to prove changes a little bit. And it's really, they're super, super helpful. I appreciate them, and I appreciate the fact that the grids recognize the general issue we have as we get older with adjusting to other work we've never done before, if we can't do our prior work. Okay, Thursday, the 27th, was that Thursday? Yeah. Yeah, this was in relation to somebody who doesn't have retirement because the habit of writing off every possible expense as a self-employed person, so the taxes would be very, very minimal over the lifetime, rendered the person they never even bought the insurance for retirement. So things to know about that. That's tragic to me. And I say that as a self-employed person. All right, Friday. Yeah, I never did get to the Friday fraud law review. I apologize for anyone who happens to like that quirky stuff. This was an event that had happened recently to my mom, and how she got crazy overbilled with her cell phone bill, and how it was very untoward, and how the company didn't really care. And, getting that excess bill paid was more of a priority. So I go into that, I do a little event. I'll probably make some enemies with that one. right? Okay, so Saturday the 29th, this was just a little refresher on the difference in earnings credits needs for retirement versus Social Security disability. And I was prompted to do it because someone brought up a good point. And that was the age scaling factor. Younger people need less, older people need more. Obviously, retirement, you're not getting until you're 62 anyway. So really it's more of a disability thing, I would say, but the different ages, how you have to know what your age requires. It might not require as much as somebody who's older in terms of those earnings credits and when and how recently you got them. Okay. All right. That's it, guys. Have a great Sunday. I will see you next week. I'll be doing a little more traveling again. I think it's going to be kind of as regular as it was, but at least it's going to be in a different place. Anyway, I will be checking in, of course, as always. And while I'm hashing things out, I'm still working there. So talk to you later. Bye.